All right, Shalom. First off, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father's true name. Yahweh Shai is the name of His only begotten Son. And I want to give double honors unto the elders of Israel, which are the elders of great millstone that rule well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all the Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, doing the works in truth and in sincerity. And I'm the brother Masha from the GMS Des Moines camp. And I'm here with another lesson through the Spirit, pretty much just going into our living conditions, and pretty much as we go about our daily lives, working, eating, and just pretty much everything that we need to get by, pretty much not just pretty much being content with it, because the scripture say really at the end of the day, I'll just read the scripture. This is Philippians chapter 3, and I'll start at verse 8. And this is Paul speaking. Yea, doubtless, and I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Mashiach Yahushua my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Hamashiach. So pretty much Paul was saying he counts all things but dung, and he counts them all but loss, at the end of the day, because ultimately all this stuff is going to, be destroyed anyway when the Lord comes back. This job you're working isn't going to be here. This car you have is going to get burnt up and destroyed, and everything else along with it. All these carnal things that we have, are nothing, compared to what's to come, Now that, this lesson is mainly to edify, that's the first and foremost, is to edify, pretty much just putting this truth first and foremost, before anything else, Of course you gotta eat, you gotta get your money, you gotta eat, you gotta, you need a car, a vehicle to get around, of course, while we're here under Esau Edom's rulership, But ultimately, overall, we put this truth first before anything, because with this truth comes everything, Let's get that in Matthew, as Yahweh told his disciples, Matthew chapter 6, and we'll start at 19. Connor, I'll read that. Matthew chapter 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So that's the point. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And it's saying to lay up your treasures in the kingdom of heaven. And ultimately, what does that mean? It means sowing to the spirit. It means sowing to the spirit, being living according to the words of this book. Because as it says, matter of fact, let me go to that too. What's that? Let me look it up on my phone real quick. I know it says I know the scripture, but I don't want to quote it. I just want to get it. Con. Galatians chapter 6 and verse 8. Galatians 6 and 8. Oh, Salakia. I highlighted 9. Galatians 6 and 8. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting, And that's the main thing, that I was, that's the main point, why I brought this precept out, because it says, as it told us in Matthew, you know, lay not up, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doeth corrupt, but in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doeth corrupt, And what that's talking about, ultimately sown to the Spirit, as the scripture says, sown to the Spirit, because all this stuff on this side, trying to reach, trying to gain infinite amount of riches on this side or whatever it may be, indulging in all the stuff that these other people indulge in, trying to make it on this side, or achieving the American dream, as they say. All that is going to come to naught, as the scripture say, all that is death, that's them reaping, or sowing to the flesh, and all that is going to come, and all that's going to be destroyed when Yahweh Bashem Yahushua comes back, But what's the main important thing that the men of the Lord have is this word, this truth, That's the main point of this lesson, pretty much, is that being content with whatever it is that you have on this side, all the carnal things, and putting this truth, first, this truth first, before anything else, because matter of fact, let's go to that too, Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 30. Proverbs chapter 30 and 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of my power in vain, So this is a proverb scripture, pretty much, pretty much telling us how to, be, as we, walk and go through our Babylon, is pretty much, just to pretty much be content, because everything's a balance too, and this is the balance here, we don't want to make it in this, we don't want these riches, because once again, all that is death, and it's gonna, as the scriptures say, all that leads to death, and ultimately the Lord isn't the Lord. Matter of fact, we'll just let the scripture speak. Let's go to that too. What is it? Matthew. I think it's Matthew 6 and 19. Salaki. Mark chapter 8, and I'll start at 34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. And ultimately, losing your life on this side is taught, yet not yes, physically too, but first and foremost spiritually on this side. You're giving up your life. You're sacrificing yourself. Making your body as a living sacrifice by, abstaining from your fleshly desires. Giving up this life, this world. The desires, your fleshly desires you had in this world. Because all that really led to death. And it was gonna get you destroyed. But because the scriptures say, they saving their lives, so-called saving their lives on this side by doing and indulging in the lust of the flesh, like when they come with the RFID chip, a lot of people are going to run to that, and they're going to, accept the chip, because they're looking at it as a form of help, but really, that's going to get them destroyed, and that's them saving their lives on this side, because they want to preserve their lives on this side, but the Lord said, whoever shall lose his life, and whosoever will come after me, or But whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's sake, and the gospel, the same shall save it. Losing your life for the Yahweh Shem Yahshai and the gospel. Why? Because we understand and we know that that RFID chip is going to lead to death. And we follow Yahweh, and the men of the Lord are going to follow Yahweh Shem Yahshai. The men of the Lord that are predestined to be a part of the elect, they're going to follow Yahweh Shem Yahshai on to the end. No matter what, and they're going to deny that chip. That's losing your life for Yahweh Shem Yahshai and the gospel's sake. But reading on, and that ultimately is going to you're saving your life no matter what. Because to these people, yes, you might get your head chopped off and whatnot or whatever it is, but ultimately you're saving your life. But reading on, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? So that's pretty much the point I was getting at. Coming from that Proverbs I read, give me neither poverty nor riches, because it's like we already see what happens. We see what becomes of these people when they gain when they become rich in this society. All these celebrities, they got to do wicked things. They got to sacrifice themselves. Because ultimately is in rulership, and this is his kingdom. So if you want to make it up there, make it to the top, you got to do wickedness. You got to do wicked things. And that's why the scriptures are saying, "What shall it profit you?" Being rich on this side. That's why the scriptures say in Proverbs. We'll go back to that. Proverbs 30 and in Salak, I'm jumping around, but I hope it's clear. Proverbs 30 and 8, and we'll reread it. Proverbs 30 and 8. Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai? And that's what these people have done. These celebrities, they're full, and they therefore they don't care about serving Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because they feel as if they have everything. They feel they're rich on this side, so they don't need the Lord, and that's pride once again. But that's why the Lord is telling it. This proverb here is saying, to give me neither poverty nor riches. But reading on, or let me just reread it. Verse 9: Lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of the Most High of my power in vain. So it's a balance. You don't want to be rich in this society, because you already know what you got to do to be rich in this society. Then again, you don't want to be super poor, and because then you can start going off and doing wicked things. You can go off too. So that's why it's a balance. And ultimately it goes back to what as I was stating, just pretty much contentment. Whatever it is you have on this side, just to be content with that. But from there, let's go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 4. Well, yeah, I'll just start at the top here. First Peter 4 and 1. For as much then as Hamashiach had suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, for he that had suffered in the flesh had ceased from sin, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. And this is the point here. For the time past of our life many suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. And that's these people out here once again. These people that Behold the men of the Lord, whether it be even your own family members, old friends, and whatnot. They think it's strange that you run not to them with them to do the same excess of rights. Whatever it be. Pretty much everything wicked on this side that all these people indulge in. Whether it's these holidays, or celebrating your birthday, going to college, whatever it is, everything on this side, that the masses of these people go after, the men of the Lord have departed and followed Yahweh Bashim Yahshai. Therefore, they look at that as strange, that you're not doing the same things they're doing anymore, But really, at the end of the day, as Paul stated, we count all but loss, to win the excellency of Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, So all that means nothing at the end of the day, So, but from here, let's go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6. And I'll start at 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. And having food and raiment, let us be therein content, therewith content, So it's saying godliness with contentment is great gain. So like it, because that's it, as the scripture said, because that's the balance, At the end of the day, we've given the men of the Lord have given up their lives for Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, as it says in Matthew. So therefore, you're just content with what you have on this side, because at the end of the day, everything else here it leads to nothing but death, the Lord's gonna destroy all the stuff on this side, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content. And so just pretty much, getting by with what you got, You got a roof over your head, you got a car, you got a job, you get to and fro, from point A to point B, you're getting your daily bread, and that's pretty much it, But this word is the main thing that comes first at the end of the day, and that's the main point of this lesson pretty much is that, we put this truth first before all things, and just pretty much, this truth is going to bring everything, Matter of fact, let me read that real quick in Matthew, because I don't think I got to that. Matthew chapter 6 and 34. Matthew chapter 6 and 34. But seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and its righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you, And that's the point, seeking ye first the kingdom of the Most High, and all these things shall be added unto you. And all what's that talking about? All the riches, because ultimately in the kingdom of heaven for the Israelites, and the elect first and foremost, that's going to be true rest and true power, and riches, infinite riches forever, for eternity, where you won't have to work, where you won't have to clock in every single day. You won't have an Edomite boss over you, or you won't have these, your enemies won't be over you, ruling over you, So hope this lesson was edifying, and exhorting, pretty much just putting this truth first, and that just pretty much being content with what you have, getting by, that's pretty much the point of this lesson, Salaki falls all over the place, but the water Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai for allowing me to do this lesson, and I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and until next time, Shalom.